Okay, we're going to take a look at a song called My First Song by an artist called Justin G. It's basically simple. We had a 2 mic setup, 2 condenser mics, Shure SM58, one in the neck, one pointed towards the body, just a little bit away from Justin's strumming. We also had his friend Ryan do a little overdub here with a little solo. We did the solo parts and just kind of copied and pasted towards the end. And we're going to take a listen and we're going to actually hear what it sounds like. Now, the vocals came in pretty good. We just had maybe 1 or 2 takes. So this is going to be a clean, easy track on how to do acoustic recording a vocal and make it nice and easy. Let's just listen to the next section. This is a track where we had the guitar pointed, the mic pointed towards the neck. Let's raise it up a little bit just so you can hear. You still get a good ambient sound from the body, but you also have some good coming in for the mic, and then we hear the second part, which is the second mic pointed towards the body. It's a little bit more full, which is what we're going for. So you have the 2, you have the neck and the body, so you're getting 2 different tones, but you're still getting that same rhythm accompaniment. Here, let's turn it up a little bit so you can hear it a little bit better. Now together. So what I did was I panned one just a little bit to the left and another one just a little bit to the right. Not too much, just a couple of degrees. Just for a little width and a little space. Now we see here with the EQ, what I tried to do is just, whatever I boosted on the neck, I pulled on the body. So I raised some of the fundamental frequencies for the neck section because that's a little thin, but at the same time I ended up pulling those frequencies for the body mic, and very little compression on the neck, but I use a lot more compression, or let's say the compression is more active for the body because of course you're getting more energy coming into the mic. Just went up just a little bit, not too much on the output gain. Didn't want the body to overpower what's coming from the neck. Express what this song explains. Good. Now this is Ryan's solo. They wanted sort of a 60s surfer type vibe, but without, dial back maybe about 50%. So we added some tremolo, used a ribbon mic. Ribbon mics aren't used a lot nowadays, but for this type of sound, this virtual ribbon mic is good. A little tremolo, some presence there, and I boosted the mids, kept the treble right where it was, and pulled the bass back a little bit. It's a nice tone. Okay, now let's hear them both together. Okay, now we're going to look at the EQ for that sort of guitar overlay. What I wanted was just a broad sweep. Pull back a little bit in the high frequencies. Of course I usually cut below on the bass because we're not going to be picking up or interested in anything under 100. So I want a nice, smooth, mellow sound. So from about 100 to see to 5,000, I just did just a little bit of a sweep up. and it cuts across all the frequencies for the rhythm guitar. So what I tried to do was get a nice little notch for the rhythm, the neck, the body, and then for just those arpeggio layovers. And now this is guitar 2, so this is the body versus the solo. I'm just showing you the difference of where I EQ'd for the rhythm acoustic versus this guitar that we plugged in to the front of the UAD, the high Z port. You have to put your headphones on and really hear the difference here as I kind of tweak it a little bit. You just want a nice, sweet, mellow sound. Okay, let's get that out the way. But the basic idea was I wanted the sound of like a nice coffee shop acoustic setup. Good vocals, good vibe, just the right amount of reverb, not too much. I didn't want to get too over processed with this. Now right here we did a couple different takes and the copy and paste on the high Z and the guitar F1. A little to the left, a little to the right, a lot actually. And then we have guitar over riff 2 going pretty much straight ahead. Listen again. This is Justin's acoustic. That's just the left side. I wanted that really light and sort of like a bed beneath the other two main louder parts. So we did a copy and paste. We have the first riff, the first play of the riff, and then the second, and we just had the second one ring out as we went just straight, you know, acoustic, no vocals, and just had it play out. Now right here we have the busing setup. We have bus 2 and bus 3 with ambience, also a small hall. So we have the high Z, which is not really a good label, but it's basically just the first over riff, and going to bus 3, which is a space designer and a channel EQ, and we have the other two guitars also going to bus 3. Now right here I like to use space designer a lot. I think it's one of the best, like, decent reverbs out there. Very natural settings. Naive to what she's about to bear. My first song was written for you. My first ballad, my spoken truth. My first single spelled your name. Words can't express what this song explains. Now the reverb is so, you know, light. In my head, it's kind of hard to hear maybe if you don't have really good speakers, but it does make a difference. Just turn it off and so you can hear. While I keep treading, my words they drown. Let's turn it back on. They sunk to the floor, that piano sound.
My first song was written for you. My first ballad, my spoken truth.
It's the type of situation where I don't want the reverb to be
My first single
heard, if you understand what I'm saying. Meaning I don't want you to hear that background sort of type of echo, but I want that presence to be there, that sweetness that reverb could add. And I think that's the best way to use reverb, where you don't really notice it, but it definitely, when you take it away, you definitely do notice it. Now this is how I use Ozone on the master track. Again, just a little EQ for all the tracks to kind of glue everything together. Again, about 1000 mid-range. I like mid-range can get muddy, so I like to play around the mid-range to keep things really clean and separated. And now turn it back on. So you can definitely hear a difference, but it's just subtle.
My spoken truth. My first single, and spelled your name. Words can't express what this song explains.
With a song like this, less is definitely a lot more.
Compared to before, I had nothing to lose.
Okay, let's take a listen with the effects, and then after we'll take a listen without any of the processing, any of the reverb or compression.
Stood up on stage and felt alone. Took down the keys to find the tone. Scanned at them faces and saw her there. Naive to what she's about to bear. My first song was written for you. My first ballad, my spoken truth. My first single, spelled your name. Words can't express what this song explains. For months in my head, I fantasized, begging to float and not capsize. While I keep treading, my words they drown. They sunk to the floor, that piano sound. My first song was written for you. My first ballad, my spoken truth. My first single, and spelled your name. Words can't express what this song explains. Off the stage to share the truth. Compared to before, I had nothing to lose. Your friends all watched on But you turned me down. The expected result of this singing clown. My first song was written for you. My first ballad, my spoken truth. My first single, it spelled your name. Words can't express what this song explains.
Alright, now let's turn off any of the plugins, any of the inserts, and hear what the track sounds like so you guys can compare for yourself. Take a listen. Okay, so that was my first song with and without the effects processing, just to give you an idea. Thank you to Justin G and Ryan for some really good guitar parts and a good session. And that's a nice way to just do a nice easy mix if you want to do just guitar and vocals and maybe a small lead part.